Who are the guests? Like all your friends?
Yeah, it's friends.
Right, right. You never ever celebrated the success milestones along the years?
No.
Right. And
So it
that
was
was like
really-
the first time?
Yeah, it was just a real party. So like people were dancing, they were break dancing on the floor. So like if
both of you are the founders for basically this brand. Like, is there anything I need to know about the ownership and stuff like
it's
that?
together with my husband Lionel, my
Okay.
mom, Shirlynn, and Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you guys are friends or?
No, so actually, she started at Assembly. That's her first store.
Okay.
For me, I was actually a part-timer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're the same age.
Mm.
Yeah, but it was
Right.
after uni, then I just had a part-time job. So that's where I met her.
Right.
Then I was looking for a full-time job, and then, before the day I texted her, say, hey, actually I got a full-time job already. I worked with her for 2 months.
Okay.
Then she was like,
I was so sad.
yeah.
I was really upset.
Yeah. She said, actually, I want to ask you to come full-time. Then I said, cannot lah. Because my dad wanted me to get like I did linguistics. I studied linguistics in school.
Mm.
So then I was like, this is a bit hard. Yeah. So she
Okay.
said, okay, never mind lah. You can go. I would help out on the weekends.
Right.
Yeah. So when she decided to expand to Atlas, which is her second store,
Okay.
but my first, then she asked, do you want to come in as a partner?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. So you started off as a part-timer.
Yes.
Okay. And like when was the transition from the first to the second cafe, like to the second store?
We opened Assembly in 2013.
Mm.
So then when we concluded that shop, it was 2015.
Right.
Right? 2015.
2016.
2016, sorry.
All right. You
Yes.
closed down the first one.
Yes, because the master lease ended with SLA. So then
Right.
they only allowed one F&B operator.
I
So
see.
at the point in time, it was us, Mr. Prata, Wildfire Burgers, and the wine company.
Okay.
Yeah. So then mine was the smallest outfit.
Okay.
So they only allowed one F&B operator then. So
Mm.
you basically have to bid lah. And the only unit available is the Mr. Prata unit.
Right.
Yeah.
Which
so
year was the assembly?
2013.
2013. Okay.
Yeah,
That was your
so-
very first.
Very first one.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Shirlynn was a part-timer.
Yeah.
I met her in 2014.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I live nearby.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I just applied for the job.
Wow.
And that's where we met.
Wow, the journey. And then like for the next 7, you
Mhm.
guys like partner together.
Yeah. So since Atlas, then she came on board.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's
Interesting.
been- the rest is history lah. She has been with us for a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm.
Great. Maybe talk a little bit about your journey. Definitely like you started your first one that was like about close to 12 years back.
Yes.
Right. Prior to that, what were you doing?
I was just finished studying, so just graduated in marketing. Yeah. So I think at the point in time, I was still doing part-time at I held part-time jobs since I was 16 lah.
Mm.
Yeah. So I've always found myself in F&B. So during that time, I was working in a cafe and I really love, making coffees and all of that. So I knew that upon graduation, I wanted to do anything coffee related. So be it like, it can be selling coffee or whatsoever. So I was really, truly passionate about coffee. So then when the opportunity came to open Assembly, I thought, the space is 500 square feet, really small.
Mm.
We put 2 fridges and that's the kitchen. And I think we could house like maybe 30 seaters, but it's shoulder to shoulder, lah, so really quite bad. Yeah, so that went on and the rent at the point in time was quite affordable, $3,000, 500 square feet. I was like, okay lah, let's just, try this out. If it doesn't work out, then okay lah, I just put in a resume. At least, I can let people know that, there's the enterprising side of me.
Mm.
Yeah, so it was really like, just dive into it and then we see how it went.
And back then you were 22 years old.
22 years old, yes.
Right.
Yes.
And when you mentioned opportunity, when the
Yes.
opportunity came,
Yeah.
what in your own definition means relates to an opportunity? Like how do you see it as an opportunity?
I think it's when this sort of situation wouldn't happen any other day. And I didn't want to look back 5 years later and regret not taking that up. Yeah. So, I mean, that was what guided me to, to take on that.
Right. So was it like a combination because it was like a location that you think it will work out plus the rent, it was reasonable?
Honestly, I think at the point in time it was the rent and it's the small outfit. So then I thought like, how bad can it be, right? I mean, small outfit, then like, if it doesn't work out, then never mind, I just close lah. The location, honestly, I didn't live in Bukit Timah. I lived in like Sembawang all my life. So like Bukit Timah, I don't frequent very often. But so it was really like one of those like, okay, let's just assess this. Let's just go into it and then we see whether or not it works out. But I knew that around the district, you have the Nasim residences, you have a good school, NUS just across the road.
Right.
So I knew that it would kind of work, but obviously nothing is for certain lah.
Okay.
So when we took it up, it was really, the first few days was really quite hard. I remember the first day, our sale was like $500. Oh, I sat on the step and I started crying.
Who do you started the first one with?
It was my mom. My mom supported me at the very beginning.
Okay.
And Lionel, my husband.
Okay.
Yeah. So at a point in time, I think when I knew my husband, we were what, 6 months? Dating?
6 months. They dated for only 6 months.
Dating only
Then
they
decided to
opened
start
a
a business together.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
at that point in time,
Wow.
many of our friends were like, "Are you sure?" They're like, "We're not sure, but I guess we're just going to do it and then figure things out." Yeah.
Okay.
So that's that. Yeah. So it was the three of us at first, and then it was just
Okay. What was like the first few challenges you had, like the big challenges?
I think because at 22, the people who came to work were the same age group. And their motivations and my motivation are very different. So their motivation is that, if I free, then I come lah. If I'm not free, then, I'll go out party, then I won't send you shift lah. But for me, because I don't have I want to quit button, I kind of know that, okay, it's all on me. So I kind of have to, stay it through. So then when it came to like schedule planning and all that, and then when people didn't want to work, I was just like, then I have to text them like, hey, are you free this weekend? Can you please come and help? And then I had to realize that not everyone is in this 100% as I am, so having to manage that is quite hard. So on bad days, I remember feeling like I was in a glamorized jail cell. Yeah, so that was quite hard to manage. Yeah, because at the point in time, my peers were all taking their great trip, traveling around the world, deciding what they want to do. But I kind of just jumped straight into this. Yeah, so not realizing what it entailed. Yeah.
When you mentioned you feel like you are creating like a glamorized jail cell, it's like you created something that you're trapped in.
Yes, I definitely felt trapped because we stuck to a routine, right? And I think in hindsight, sticking to a routine is actually what helped to mold me to be who I am today and where the business stands today. Because if I hadn't stick to the routine, then, it would have been, have been quite flippant.
Right. How much was the investment for that first business?
200,000. 200,000 was what we started with. And I remember my first purchase, $3,000 for a bench chair. Remember suddenly the first check. I just like, oh my god, $3,000 for a chair. Should I buy it? But it's really nice. I think it will complement the whole thing. Okay, let's just do it.
Right.
Yeah, so I still remember my first purchase. Yeah.
Right. I remember seeing an article, I think just yesterday or 2 days back, on how many F&B businesses closed down last year,
yes.
plus how many new F&B businesses also sprouted out last year. I think like F&B, especially like cafe and things is the concept is something that I think everybody loves to be in a cafe.
Yeah.
We love to go there, meet friends, work there, drink coffee, and the vibe is just like great, right? And I think a lot of Singaporeans as well and young entrepreneurs, they are aspiring to start their first businesses, right? Yeah. Maybe share with us like in terms of like raising your first capital, how do you do it, and how long was the burn rate? Like how fast was the burn rate that you finished your 200,000? And
I was lucky because my mom helped us a lot initially. Yeah, so obviously 22, honestly, what kind of savings do you have, right? Yeah, so she helped us a lot, and it was really one of those like, okay, do you want to open your own cafe or you want to go and work? So I said, but I kind of want to maybe go and do this full time, like, working at a cafe for a bit, just to figure things out. And she's like, 不要啦. Like, better not, like, you just finish your studies, I'd rather you do something else. So then I thought about it and I said, okay, you know what, Mom, I think maybe I will take this opportunity and I'll see how it goes now. So she helped me, and the burn rate. I mean, to set up F&B, you only have 1 month rent free, right? So, within a month, you
consume everything.
No, not
Renovation
everything
and-
lah. I mean, you pay yourself a little bit, enough to survive, and then you just go from there, lor.
What was the biggest expense when you got started? Was it renovation?
Yeah, like at the start, yes, definitely the renovation.
Mm.
Yeah, because our office was quite small, so like whatever we bought was still like enough to feed like 30 packs plus 1.5 times.
Right.
Like whatever storage that you have at the shop lah.
Mm.
Yeah, so those are definitely yeah.
Right. How would you advise like somebody that maybe come to you and say, hey, definitely I want to start my cafe. What do I need to take note of in the first 1 year?
I will ask them like, are you sure you want to do it?
Okay.
Yeah, because honestly, F&B, as much as it's not just a food and beverage company. Yeah, it's really about connection with your people, your customers, and it's way beyond that. I think it's also the same for most industries. As long as you have people, you kind of have to. It's an ongoing process lah. Yeah. So I think for F&B, in fact, we have some people who would like come up to us like, hey, Daph, I want to open a shop. Can I work for you? Then we see.
As in, can I take your brand? Or?
No. As in like, can I come and
Be a part-time.
Oh, learn. Okay,
and
like
learn.
intern and learn the
Yeah.
business.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, sure. Then maybe you can let me know after you finish whether or not you want to open. So most of them is like, yeah.
I think a lot of people think it's just maybe like making coffee or like maybe just cooking or baking. But it's more than that, right? It is a lot of people management. Yeah, looking at numbers. And at a young age, I think, for Daphne at least, right? I always tell her, 22, wow, damn young eh. It's like, it must have been very difficult because, I mean, I had a separate job also, so I had some experience being an employee, learning from somebody. But for her to dive right in, that is like, wow. Like you suddenly see numbers, I must pay this, I must pay that. I look at the bank account.
Right.
Right. The people who are not showing up for work. You need to like champion with the supplier.
Yeah.
Right.
When you first start out, right, the suppliers they're not going to give you a very good like price.
Yeah.
That's confirmed to no one. Yeah. So I think
you small account only. So.
yeah, there are so many things. So I think we always tell like people who come in and say, I want to, open a cafe. We'll say like, okay, there are a lot of aspects to it. Yeah, take your time to learn. Yeah, don't rush into it.
It's not just about making coffee.
Yeah, correct.
Right.
I mean, you could rush into it because I think that's what you
That's
did.
exactly what
Yeah,
I did,
but I mean, now that we've done it before, you can learn from us.
Mm.
Yeah, and we'll tell you like things to take note of.
Mm.
Yeah, so you can definitely rush into it. But if you want to give yourself like a year or two just to learn, we'll tell you all the like trade secrets.
Right.
Yeah.
But many of whom, for some of them who have joined us, they also left to open their own cafes.
So they openly ask like, can I learn the business from you?
They just want to work part-time now. So I think when the opportunity will come out, we're like, oh, Daph,
and they will ask you questions about the business and you are willing to share and like...
I think for F&B, it's once you're in it, you really see everything.
You see everything.
You see the ugly, you see the glamour, you see everything.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it's not so much, So once they see it, then they're like, okay, I think I can handle this, that's okay. You have my blessing, please go ahead.
I see.
I think definitely at the start, it's a bit jarring.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, we have grown a lot, I think, as like business owners together. Yeah, correct. At the start, I think when they don't tell you that they're going to open, then it's a bit like, like then suddenly like now like you a bit like heart not here. Then you want to like, it seems like you're interested to open, then we hear about it. Then obviously that hurts a bit.
I see.
Because that's the reality, right? Like it kind of is kind of sad. You feel a bit betrayed.
Okay.
Yeah, I think when we were younger, that's how we felt.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, but I think as time passed, now we are quite transparent about it. Sometimes like when they apply, then say, oh, actually, what's your goal in the next 5 years?
Yeah.
And they're like, think I like open cafe. Then they like scared to say. Because obviously sometimes people be like, oh, if you want to open cafe in 5 years, I'm not going to hire you.
Yeah.
Because you're going to leave me.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think for us, we've changed our mindset a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's more like, okay, I mean, you can just be transparent with me. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, and then we can work together lah. As long as, we are honest with each other, I think that's fine.
I see.
Yeah.
I see. And you take it as a journey to like also mentor people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Awesome. Like maybe Shirlynn, like when you first joined right as a part-timer for 2 months, how old were you back then?
I was 23.
Okay.
I had just graduated from uni.
Right.
Then I just needed a part-time job while looking for a full-time job. Yeah, so pretty young, but definitely not very young to be a part-timer. Yeah, I think a lot of part-timers were like 19, 18.
Yeah.
What was your role back then?
Oh, so I think I just applied for like service crew.
Okay.
But on my first day when I went there, I was immediately already in the kitchen. So it's very rare. I think like usually when you go, you won't go straight into the kitchen, man. You'll just be like, okay, serve the coffee, serve the waffle.
Kitchen is like a more like higher tier kind of thing,
maybe
right?
like people don't usually naturally just go straight into the kitchen.
Okay.
So there's this thing that we do is a trial. So we just do like 1 hour. You just go in, you see whether it's okay. So Daphne was like, okay, Shirlynn, come in 1 hour, serve some food and everything. But then somehow, I don't know, somehow it got a bit messy and very, very busy at her old shop, right? It was always very busy on weekends. I think it was a Saturday.
Right.
I mean, it's small, like, it's easy to do.
No, it was always busy, honestly. I think I went in at 10 or 11. And the next time we spoke, it was 5 p.m.
Okay.
And I was somehow in the kitchen. I do not know why, but I think I was like scooping like ice cream and like putting like salted caramel. And I think in that moment, I mean, when I asked her like, what was your first impression of me? She said, wow, this one can work.
This one can work.
Yeah. So I think that was, I was 23. And then I always like food. So I think maybe that's why I tried to stay in the kitchen. Because I mean, no one chased me out. So that was just like, I can help scoop ice cream. I can help squeeze. I see a bit. Okay, I follow.
Right.
Yeah.
And how do you feel when Daphne approached you 2 months later when you wanted to resign?
I've never asked you this.
Huh?
How do you feel? What was what was in your mind?
I felt very bad towards her. Yeah, I felt bad because like what she said, right? She's in this like glamorized cell, right? Prison cell. And I saw the realities of her life. Like I think obviously the first time I met her, it was like, wow, super glam. This like super glam, like Lao Pan Yang kind of vibe.
So young.
Correct. But within the 2 months, I saw her like slog it out. Like she starts at 7 a.m. She takes like a break, like she will sleep on the sofa, like that is like at the toilet. The toilet of not the shop, because there's no toilet in the shop. It was like a
like a lobby.
Like a lobby.
Hostel.
Yeah, for a hostel.
It's within the
So she'll be just taking like a 20-minute nap there. Then every time I go to the toilet, I see her, wow, very, very poor thing. Yeah, so I think I wanted to help her. Yeah, and I think that we, even though we weren't very close then, honestly.
It's only for 2 months.
Yeah.
Right.
We got along, but we didn't chat a lot. It was just more like, I like to be in the kitchen.
Yeah.
But I felt bad. Yeah, because I think at that point in the kitchen, there was only one guy.
Yes.
Somehow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was only one guy. And then I was like, hey, if I can help her, that would be really nice. Because we had a pretty nice dynamic,
Yeah.
We were the same age. I think a lot of people previously who worked for her were younger than her. Yeah, so I think, I could talk about, different menu ideas and stuff like that. That was fun. Yeah. So when I suddenly found a job, I felt really bad. I actually hoped that the job offer would, come a bit slower. I remember like I had to text her that day and then I was like, hey Daph, can I talk to you? So this is the thing. She hates it when people do this. Like, hey Daph, can I speak to you? Because she knows bad news is going to come.
And then that's a comment. That's
right.
Yeah.
She texted me, are you leaving me? Then I said, I'm sorry. I said, yeah, I got a full-time job.
What job was that again?
I was an editor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like writing?
Yes, writing.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and I also love that. So I love food, but
you studied journalism and
I studied linguistics.
Oh, linguistics, okay. So the transition after that 2 months when you counter offer Shirlynn, then immediately transit to a partner already?
No. I just helped them out for maybe another year, just weekend.
Oh, while you're working.
Yeah, she calls it weekend or warrior. She didn't offer me partnership. She just asked whether I wanted to be a full-timer.
I see.
Yeah, but for the next 1 year, every weekend, I'll come down to help.
Okay.
Like public holidays and stuff like that. Yeah, so I think we built like a bond.
I see.
During that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
How does it feel like? And it was after that 1 year when you closed out Assembly, then you started Atlas.
No, it's right after Assembly closed, then we opened Atlas the next month.
I see.
Yeah.
So how does it feel like since then? Like now that you guys have done like 7?
It's very crazy. To be honest, when I first joined, I thought we were only going to have Atlas.
Yeah.
I thought there's only just going to be one shop, like, like close Assembly and then open Atlas. Yeah, because I mean, never in my mind would I think that we will open so many brands and so many concepts. Yeah, because I'm also a bit risk averse. Yeah, I definitely play it quite safe. Yeah, so I mean, I told my dad, you just open one cafe lah. Like, we can do that. Yeah. But the funny thing is that when I first joined, right, before I confirmed with them to be a partner, because we did like think about it for a while, her husband said to me, if you are in it for the money, like, don't take it. Yeah, he said, this is not going to earn you like the big bucks that you think you're going to earn. Yeah, then I was like, oh, okay, that's kind of honest. I was like, but I mean, I said, I was also quite young, 23. And I'm like super like happy-go-lucky. I didn't think about the money. I said, no, it's experience. I've always like food. That's just in my head. So you see, I was that person. I'm okay to open a cafe because I like food. I like that kind of experience. Yeah, but it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Talking about like the 7 brands, right? You mentioned you didn't expect that Atlas would evolve to 7 brands. Like, definitely, what was your idea like having different brand names? Because like sometimes some cafes, they want like to tell the world that I own a lot of like outlets, right? With the same brand. Yeah. And it's like a repeat, like Atlas.
Yeah.
But what was the strategy behind different names, different brands?
I think it's just that with all the other shops, we are in different districts. So with different district, there comes different demographic. So which means that the menu that we put out there will kind of have to be different. And I think initially it would be weird if like, the Atlas at Bukit Timah sells waffles, but the Atlas at Thomson, for example, doesn't sell something else. So I thought that might be a bit confusing. And we also wanted to, start from a blank canvas with every opening. We didn't want to just like copy paste, blanket strategy and then like, okay, just scale from there. So we wanted it to, still be organic in the curation process. Yeah. So I think, Atlas was the first name. And then I think eventually the names, honestly, my husband thinks of all the names. So he would, but it's very funny because whenever we find a unit, we don't actively go out to look for a unit. So for all 7 shops, except for the first one, they were all offered by like our customers, like, hey, I have a shop house, you want to come and see? Hey, I have this thing, you want to come and see? So it's like, okay, I think we are okay. Let's just go and take a look. And if it's a right fit and, you feel like, okay, this space is not too bad and you kind of, like the whole outfit and you can see yourself driving to the shop every day, then I think then it's usually a no-brainer. So then we just take it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What was the pace of opening this 7?
It was 1 year, every one. At 1 year, 1.
Okay. Is that like a pre-planned strategy that you had?
No, it wasn't. Like I said, like we don't plan. So we never know when the next customer is going to offer us.
It's like a by the way kind of thing.
Yeah. So I think with the whole entrepreneurship process, it's really like you kind of just have to do it. Then only the opportunities will show up. Yeah, you cannot just like sit on it and then just wait for the opportunity to come by. So you just kind of have to like get your hands dirty lah.
Right. And you wanted to like feed the demographics of that enclave and the district, right? Yes. And then you build everything like a startup again.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, and we don't ever advertise like, this is actually from the Atlas Group or whatever. So when the shop opens up and then like someone walk by and say, hey, you look familiar. Like you look from Atlas. Like, oh yeah. Then they realize, so it's from the same group.
And you're perfectly okay with that.
We're totally okay with that. Right. In fact, I think that becomes...
Is that better or like...
I think it's a nice surprise. If people realize that, okay.
It belongs
shop,
to...
Okay, I think, like they have like, certain standards and you can expect the consistency to be, sort of there. Yeah, then a completely brand new shop.
Right.
Yeah. So we kind of just want everything to sort of really, like I said, just very organic within that district.
So over the last 12 years, have you closed any shops before?
Luna, at Shenton Way. We were there for 5 years, I think. Yes, we were there for 5 years. Yeah.
So minus that, you have 7 now.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
6.
Sinister is the... Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What are some of the challenges with like opening one every year? And like, how do you strategize that? Do all the founders like deploy at the new place? Then the current shops, right, are managed by your old birds? Like, how do you do it? Like,
we have tried different configurations.
Okay.
Try already opening. Okay, do we offload? Yeah, no, cannot. But this one will be neglected. So I think.
Who is active in the business as founders? Is your mom active?
My mom, she helps out with changing the money. All the coins, change the coins. So she helps.
Okay.
She helps us get lunch.
Buys
lunch for.
Okay.
She buys lunch for us.
She's like the support.
Yes, she's the mummy of the.
I see. And you're playing the CEO role, I presume.
I don't know. I guess.
Shirlyn is like the CEO, something like that. Do you have a role?
We have our own departments.
What do you handle? Maybe share. Like.
I handle like the food side. I think in the past, obviously when we started, we did everything. But as we've grown, now we have our own department. So I handle the food side. And then Daphne handles the bakery.
Baking,
and then her husband Lionel does the roastery. And then Wayne does service side. Yeah. And
Wayne is another partner.
yes.
I think you've seen him
Recruitment and service.
The young guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tall guy.
Oh, okay.
Tall guy.
So 4 partners.
Yes.
Okay.
Plus my mom, 5.
5.
Yeah.
Okay. So all of you are active. Like
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yes.
And like going back to the question about like how do you deploy a new shop? What's the strategy? Like how do you do it?
Not all 4 can go to the same shop lah.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, like we will still have to, remain at the existing shops, to manage those expectations, to make sure that, the standard won't run to the drain and all that. Yeah, but with the new shops, I guess as long as your protocols, your menu is more or less there, and we kind of know what to expect, then, then it's not so bad lah.
Because the system can be duplicated,
yes,
but you just change the menu and the vibe.
Change the menu, yes.
Right.
So I'm usually in the kitchen because manpower is always a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, and our chefs are all Malaysians. So obviously quota, when you first when you start a new company, you can't just readily hire so many Malaysians. So yeah, I will usually be based in the kitchen for a few months, depending on how long it takes to stabilize and stuff like that. Yeah. Daphne will definitely be running floor. She does the barista side. Yeah, but now that she does all the baking, she's also at the bakery, getting the new cakes out, sourdough breads and stuff like that. Yeah. Wayne will be on the floor. You'll definitely see Wayne. Yeah. Yeah, so Wayne runs. And then Lionel is the man behind the scenes. He's fixing everything and then roasting all the coffees. Yeah. Lionel's a bit more shy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, but he's always there. He's always a call away.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
I see.
And then Auntie also, of course, will be there.
Right.
Yeah, you'll see her all the time.
Right. When you mentioned your roastery, is you all have your own machines and stuff.
Yes.
Right. Where is it located?
Mandai.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That's the place that
so
warehouse.
we recently bought a factory.
Okay.
Yeah, and then we basically just put all the roastery is basically there lah.
Okay. Your own beans and everything.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So we started roasting in 2019, I think. Yeah, but it was a small outfit lah.
I see.
So then we recently bought a bigger one
to supply to all 7.
Yes,
so it's a little bit like a central kitchen.
Yes.
I see. How do you make a business partnership work?
I think it's really a lot of trust. I know you probably hear this a lot, but honestly, I think if the trust is not there, then it becomes very hard to navigate through all the disagreements. Because when 2 people are in a disagreement, most of the time you'll feel like this person is against me, right? And then you don't trust that this person has your back. So I think a lot over the years, I constantly emphasize that at the end of the day, we are in this together, whether you like it or not. And we have to iron out all these things lah. And when I point out something that I think needs to be addressed, then you need to trust that this is not personal, and I want this for the best of the company and for the best of ourselves. Yeah. So I mean, obviously when everything is well and dandy, it's easy, but when it gets heated, then it's hard lah. So I mean, with all partnerships, I think there are definitely ups and downs. Yeah.
How often do you all meet as business partners?
We used to meet every day.
Used to be every day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Every day. I see her more than I see my parents.
Yeah.
Yeah. Every day. And
for at least 5 or 6 years.
Yeah,
it was almost every day.
18 hours a day.
Yeah.
Every day.
Right.
Yeah, maybe Chinese New Year. Don't count Chinese New Year.
No, we still visit each other during Chinese New Year.
So, do you have a founders team meeting every week or
we have a group chat?
A group chat, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when that gets that's usually
how we correct. I think in the past we used to meet every day, so we take that for granted. Yeah, and then now when there are more places to run to, and we're in a different phase of our lives as well. We're not 23 anymore. We're 24. Yeah. So we rely definitely on WhatsApp lah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Are you guys having your own kids, family, things like that already?
I just had a son.
Congrats.
Well, he just turned 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that journey of transitioning was also it was overwhelming but enriching at the same time.
Right.
Yeah, because you have to make adjustments, with your time and all that. So I think the last 1 year, you learn to juggle work and spending time at home lah. Yeah. So that when I'm not at work, then I feel guilty that I'm not at work. But then when I'm at home with my son, then I feel guilty for not spending time with him, especially within his first 1 year. Yeah. So I think as long as, you sort of are aware of that allocation of time, then I think that's okay. Yeah. Yeah. But like I said, I mean, we're all in different pace in life right now. So like the adjustment to our time allocation is also
very different.
Really. Yeah.
So because like when you were in your 20s, early 20s, you guys were like chonging full force, right?
All the way, man.
Right.
Yeah.
Then like now, in your early 30s, like how do you strike that? And do you believe in the word balance? Like being a business owner plus balancing, do you believe in that word?
Of course, yes, of course. I feel like initially the first few years, because we were there all the time, there were a lot of things that we couldn't see. Yeah. And we were burnt out for sure. But because we had like 3 other people to burn out with us, then it's suddenly not so bad. But initially when it was just me there, it was just like, like, I cannot find someone who can relate that pain. But because I had them, then I felt like, it's actually not so bad. Okay burn out, okay but now, I mean, when there is a bit more balance and then when we spend really a lot of time and dedication nurturing our leaders, and when you watch them flourish and do what is being, assigned to them, and when they do a good job at it, then you take a seat back and you just realize that, actually, this style of management can actually, nurture people to be a better version of themselves. Like, for example, Moonchild, the one at Jalan Besar, that's the latest one, recently turned 1 in November, right? So then one of our staff, Leo, he came up to us and he's like, I think we ought to do a 1-year anniversary party. So just like, 1-year anniversary party. We're like, wow, we never ever throw like, any parties lah. So then we're like, okay, I mean, if you are keen, sure. But I don't know how I can help you lah. So maybe we can do it like, okay, you treat me as a vendor, you let me know what you need from me from the bakery side, and then we can see how it goes. So I think he single-handedly planned the whole itinerary for the night.
So he planned like what it will be. He got a DJ to come. Yeah. Then the kitchen did their own menu as well.
Right.
Yeah. And then it was fun because I think for the last few years, I mean the last like 8-9 years, we never actually celebrated anything. Also because we were always opening another store.
Right.
Yeah. Like at that 1-year mark, we would probably be like scrambling over opening a new store. So when we had that, right, it was a very, very strange feeling.
Yeah.
Because right, it wasn't really fully planned by us. I mean, we were there. Yeah. Obviously mentoring him along the way. But he did it on his own. Obviously there was alcohol. People got a bit drunk. He cleaned it up. Like the team cleaned it up and everything. Like we could actually like...
Who were the guests? Like all your friends?
Yeah, it's friends.
Right.
Friends.
It's really like
to... It was also public lah.
It was also public, but friends and family. Like,
so you never ever celebrated the success milestones along the years?
No.
Right. And that was like the first time.
Yeah, it was just a real party. So like people were dancing, they were break dancing on the floor. So like if we were the ones organizing the party, I don't think it would have gone that way. So I think for it to, for us to let go and watch the whole thing unfold and actually
enjoy it.
Enjoy it. In the mouth.
Enjoy it.
It was actually
how do you guys feel like what was that like very recent?
Yes, it was in November.
Only November.
Right. I mean, how do you guys feel when you had that celebration and then you look back at the 12 years journey? Like,
I think it was quite fulfilling, honestly.
Yeah,
it was quite fulfilling to see them also want to celebrate the anniversary of the brand. Like many times it's just like, I remember when it was when any shop turned 1 or 2, they're like, hey, congrats Daphne, congrats me for what? But then like, for them to be so happy about it, to want to celebrate how far they've come, although it's only been a year, but they for them to be genuinely happy about it, I think, and to see that as an opportunity to put out something different, because the menu on that day was only available on like for 1 day.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think because as Shirlynn mentioned, our kitchen is run mostly by Malaysian chefs. So even like the menu items were skewed to their strength. So we saw like dumplings.
Yeah, we had like scallion noodle. Yeah. We had curry noodles. So we did like a noodle night and stuff like that. Yeah. And so I mean,
specially curated.
You want it to be fun for them as well. You don't want to do something like, hey man, boss says do this, then wow, happy birthday to us.
So they can do whatever they like.
So we curated together. Like for a couple of months, I would ask them like, hey, what's your favorite dish at home? The things that your mom makes.
Right.
So one of them like his mom has a wonton mee store. Then like one of them like makes cold noodles, cold chili chicken noodles for staff meal. So that was how like the idea came about. So we took like everyone's idea and then put it together. Then we had a little simple menu lah, but it was a reflection of the chefs.
Right.
Yeah, and I think that was something that was very different. Yeah, very, very meaningful for them because it's like, hey, this is my dish.
Yeah.
You know, like it was like this guy's recipe from something, and then like this guy folding because his mom taught him how to fold very well. This one is a stuffed meal. Yeah,
Or the dumplings. The folding is the dumplings.
Right.
yeah, sorry, yeah. Yeah, but I think it was very meaningful for them lah, because also for us letting go. I don't think people realize how much impact is made when you get to serve your item on the menu. Yeah, like for a chef, right, I always tell them, like, when I see them serve something that they created, obviously that it goes through a lot of refining, but when they serve it right, wow, they are so proud. And I think also all the crew from the different stores came also.
And you close down every other for that night.
Finished
It was
7.
Sunday, yeah.
Ah,
It was Sunday,
yeah.
I
so
see,
that's
I see.
because
So everybody gathered.
yeah.
In total, how many teammates do you have? Like your crew, like kitchen and on the floor, and like,
We have like, I think like for full-timers, we
Yeah.
have like 50 plus.
Mm.
And then part-timers, we have,
About close to 40, 50.
Yeah,
So about maybe
50,
100.
60, yeah.
So
I think that
each
they maybe
outfit, like usually, how many people do you need to run it? Like full and part time combined?
like 10 at each time.
Yeah.
10 at each time.
Yeah, or a bit lesser depending on how busy it is. Could be 6, could be, yeah.
Right. And like you mentioned, like growing some of your guys to be leaders also.
Yeah.
Like what's the longest like serving sort of like crew that you have? Like your
Auntie
team?
Yvonne. Auntie Yvonne.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Auntie Yvonne, she
From
helped out in the
first-
kitchen from assembly.
Ah.
So she's still
12,
with us
13
today.
years already.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, she's
Okay.
still with us today. I remember when we were still at assembly, she would tell me, "There, 我的儿子要 enlist 了，怎么办？ Enlist lah, okay what?" And then I think for a while, I think he recently finished school or something. So
He
he was
part-time with
helping
us
out.
as well.
Yeah.
So it's like
Oh.
so funny.
Yeah, so it was really quite nice. So I told him, I said, boy, I've heard a lot about you.
Mm.
I said, you have no idea. Then he was like, I've heard a lot about you too. I was like, okay, it's nice.
Right.
Yeah,
And now he's serving part time.
No, he stopped for a while.
No,
lah.
he's
Now
not
he's
anymore.
working already.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
working.
Okay. What is the biggest challenge when it comes to managing human beings?
I think it's really just aligning expectations.
Mm.
Yeah, like what you expect of them, and you know, when you ask them, what do you see yourself doing in 5 years? You know, like it can be like so many things, right? And I guess for us, when we ask those questions, those are checklists for us. So we actually want to hit those lists, those pointers. You get what I mean? So, so it's about. So if you tell me you want to learn how to manage a team, for example, and then we were like, okay, so within 6 months, you know, you maybe can be like a manager assistant, for example. And then when you take on that role, then we will have to, you know, review and see whether or not you are suitable for that role and yada, yada, yada. But many times those pointers will evolve lah. And then after a while, we check in there. So how has it been? So, I've been tired. You know, so I think it's always constantly evolving our expectations of them as well.
Mm.
Yeah. So I think the hardest thing is, I think just dealing with the, I guess, I don't know, baggage.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with
Their
that.
burdens.
Yeah, I think for me, it's something similar. It's
Yeah.
being able to stand firm,
Mm.
you know, be yourself and not become everybody else.
Mm.
Because as leaders, we are the captain. I would say we are the captain of the ship,
Yeah.
right? If your man goes down, you don't go down, man. Like, you know, it's like if the guy is like feeling sick, seasick, I mean, you still have to be like, okay, I'm good. Yeah. And I think that's the hardest part because we become friends, you know, we're close, or maybe even not close, right? With like, you see so many people and you have to delegate, you have to hear the sob stories, you know, you're also a friend, you care, right? But at the end of the day, you are still their boss.
Mm.
Yeah. And they have to look up to you. You cannot be, you know, influenced by, you know, how they feel that day.
Yeah.
And I think that's hard. That's painful. Yeah. But for me, that's the hardest.
Mm.
To always be the mature one.
Mm.
You can't really drop the ball.
Yeah.
You could, like, you know, when the shop closed and then you'd be like, remember, I really had a hard time. But at the shop, I think it's very important to maintain a strong front, a strong vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, even when you yourself, you are losing your vision. Because I think at the end of the day, right, people need a vision. If you don't have a vision, like, then everyone's going to be lost.
Yeah.
Mm.
You can't expect like this full-timer of 10 years to be the visionary person, right? No, you are the person.
Mm.
So no matter what season, when you are busy, you are not busy, you chung, when, you know, like you become like a wife or a parent, you still have to be that person who stands strong. And that is the hardest thing because we are human as well.
Right.
Yeah, so I think we are very lucky that there are 4 and 5 of us, right? Like plus auntie. But sometimes when I'm having a bad day, she knows, she'll be like, bro, you need to like just take a step back. Like, how can I help you? And I think in the past, we used to not be so honest about it.
Right.
Yeah. So
it's more like, okay, if she's still standing, then I cannot sit down.
yeah. And also, we're also very secretly competitive. So it's like, we're all in our own departments.
Okay.
You know, like, I don't want to, you know, show her my weakness, and she doesn't want me to show me her weakness, even though we are business partners. But, you know, we still have an ego, you know, we still have like a image that we have to maintain. It's more like, I want you to trust me that I got it going. But I think now in recent times, we can be a bit more honest, and she'll be like, I'm having a really bad day. Like, you know, can you take charge of this? Yeah, and then I'll do the same thing. I'm having a bad day. Like, I really think I cannot keep my strong front. She said, okay, never mind. Just like, I will deal with this today. Yeah, so I think that's
the synergy that we get to enjoy.
Right.
I mean, but it came like with many years of, you know,
evolvement.
Yeah, and I think in that sense, the people that are under you can trust you lah.
I remember like sharing with my team, there was this like sort of like remembering the school days, right, that we had. Like most of the time, I think even like when I was in army or in school, we usually, when we came out of it, and then we will sort of like remember those teachers who are like firm and like know what they're doing compared to those teachers who are like a bit more wishy-washy or like soft and like always like compromising. You tend to remember those that are firm, accountable, and like very confident of like where they're going or what they're doing. Yeah. So I think I resonate with the part that you said that people look towards the leader as a visionary and they really need to know like where are we going. Yeah. Right. What has been like some of the challenges when you're trying to rise up leaders and managers? Because like now you have 7 outlets. You mentioned training your leaders, right? What has been the challenge of like raising them? Because I don't know like what was your approach? Do you hire from outside or do you train from within?
Yeah, we usually promote internally.
And usually when you train from within, there will be a mindset shift needed for that person. Yes. Right. Recently I was doing like a managerial training. I was sharing with my leaders as well. There are 4 types of leaders. The first type of leader is when they are being newly appointed as a manager. I said that's the one that nobody likes and nobody should aspire to become. It's really like trying to step on the opportunity of their teammate and subordinate to rise up, right? So I would say like it's a stepping stone manager, right? Second version will be somebody that is constantly burnt out because they compromise on the teammates' non-excellence actions. Yeah, like if they see a teammate that has bad service, not serving properly or whatever it is, but they don't dare to really confront and keep them accountable, and then they swallow it themselves. And they compromise on that. That means they go and compensate for that. Okay, you cannot do it, I cover for you. So that's the second type. Third type will be a manager that will close one eye. That means they compromise on excellence level, but they also don't help to cover up. Yeah. Then of course the fourth type is the one that I think all managers should aspire to become, is really somebody that dares to confront, keep everybody excellent and accountable, but doing it with empathy. Yeah. So I think there's a lot of challenge to become especially a middle level manager. Like what has been the challenge that you have seen as you're growing your leaders?
They approach us and say like, hey, I think I'm ready to take on, a managerial role with more responsibilities. Don't expect what's coming. Yeah. So then when they are already in it, and then when they start to struggle, and then they really take their peers' mistakes on themselves. Their excellence becomes like it's a measurement of, how well they are as a manager. That is also what we have gone through ourselves. Like how well you're doing, it means that did I mishandle the situation or yada yada, that kind of stuff. So I think the biggest challenge is really just letting them know what to expect and to remain professional. I think that is quite hard, like especially when these people,
they have been friends.
They become your friends and they tell you, and
they have been friends with their peers. And now they need to lead them.
Right? And I think that a lot of them struggle with them not listening to, what you're saying, because they used to be team members, right? And now when you're a team leader, then I think it's hard lah. It's hard. There's definitely some form of resistance. So I think having to tell them to curb through all of that, I think that is, it's hard for them. Yeah. But I think for us, by and large, it's just dealing with helping them through all those things that.
Right. Do you believe in hiring external managers?
No.
Right. No. Why?
Because I remember when I was 16, I was part-timing at a canopy at Bishan. So I remember they have, I don't know who's going to watch this.
They have a helicopter in manager.
Yes.
Okay, what happened?
Yeah. So at a point in time, we're just like, who's this guy? Like, why is he telling us to do things? Like, we don't know him. Like, he's just bossing everybody around. So I think that I remember how that affected the culture of the place. Yeah. So. And
the energy was different.
It was very different. Yeah. So people were not doing because they wanted to, but because they were just told to do so. Yeah. Just like, so his word's final, and it was just not fun anymore, and we didn't want to do that to the team. And I mean, because we do it ourselves, that we can run the floor, we can kind of, like all-rounder and everything. We also like, how do you trust someone else to do what you can do, So I think on our end,
unless you've seen them grown.
Yeah. So I think the trust is not there. So when the trust is not there, then it's very hard for us to hire help.
I think to add also, for us, I think the hardest thing is also helping them have ownership. Yeah, I think you can be an excellent service crew, chef, whatever it is, but if you have zero ownership, then you can't be a leader. Yeah, so for me, I think, and I believe for Daphne also, for us, like, if we can help them have ownership, find themselves in this business, then that is the key. That is like the answer, right? So we've had like, a few people in the crew, like they've been with us for like 6 years, but within the last 1.5 years, like have found that ownership and have sought like crazy, like improved so much.
Yeah.
He has like jumped, like, from like, okay, very average chef, like, free and easy, to someone who's leading the team and stuff like that. So I think for us, the most important is, to help them have ownership. And that is the hardest, because you cannot force someone to like have ownership. So I think usually for me, when I speak to the crew, right, who want to do more, the first thing I will say is that, okay, you want to do more, okay, this is your department, blah, blah, blah. Okay, how would you do this if this is your shop? Stop thinking it's my shop. If this is your shop, like, how will you tackle this thing? Or what will you want to promote? And how will you want to promote this menu or whatever? What would you do? And I tell you, the answer that they give at the start and after I ask the question, right, it will be completely different. Then I'll be like, hey, then why just now you say this thing? And they're like, no, because I think that's what you would want. I said, you cannot think about what I want. So this is also a struggle for us, because while you let them have the freedom, reign, you also need to like control. So I believe you cannot have it your way all the time. I think that's something that we learn. In order for the team to grow, you must let them have a voice. But with their voice, you also need to cultivate it a bit. Something that you are speaking the same. I mean, you need to speak the same language. So I think that goes with a lot of training. So I mean, so that's how it is. I think if you want to train a leader,
you give them freedom within the alignment, right?
Yes, within the alignment. And I think once they have that freedom within the alignment, then they see a lot of possibilities. And that's how they become a leader. But obviously, sometimes if you are given a chance to be a leader before there's any alignment, then that's when things will be messy. You know what I mean? And I guess that's why we also don't hire from the outside usually, because it's quite hard to be aligned with someone, especially if we've never worked before.
Right. And given a managerial role.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah. So how another culture from another company will be different from ours. But I think that's key for us. To help them find that ownership is the most important, but it's also the hardest.
Right.
So you can't force love.
Right.
The guy don't like you means the guy don't like you. You know what I mean? Like, you can't force anything. Yeah.
Right. Back to the costing of like running a business. Just for aspiring entrepreneurs out there, is like what would be the 3 biggest costs of like sustaining and running a cafe well, like by ranking 1, 2, 3.
Cost as in like
the expense of running a business on a month-to-month basis.
I see. Manpower, rental, and I guess your cost of goods sold.
The food cost.
Yes, food cost.
Right.
Yeah.
What would be the best practice to like think about this from a business strategy point of view is like to lead with revenue more or to minimize expenses? Like how do you do it? Like
I think
like some owners when they're stressed, they were like, okay, I need to cut, right? But of course, the other mindset is that, okay, perhaps there's a way to grow the revenue.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like, how do you strategize this?
Yeah. I think for us, sale is always the number one, right? Your revenue needs to be strong to begin with. So I think it's really like at the beginning, it's really just making sure that your offerings are going to be a hit, right? Then only you get the momentum. And then only we start to look back at our costs. And because we are purchasing from like from different brands, right? So I guess our account is we can negotiate for a cheaper price. So then that sort of bring the cost down a little bit so we can protect our margins in that way. Yeah. But I mean, by and large, the sale is still super important. I mean, you can do so many things, but then if you only have like one customer sitting in, then you'd be like, okay, this is a bit awkward. Yeah.
And how do you all do your marketing? Like, do you all even do marketing, or is it all word of mouth? Or like?
It's mostly
word of
mouth.
Yeah.
Mostly, I mean, social media, the standards, social media, Facebook, I mean,
not so much.
Yeah.
We don't really rely so much on marketing, which I think is something that we obviously can improve on. But I think, but I think for us, I think like the reason why we open at neighborhoods also, right, is because we love the regulars who live nearby to come down. So I think, people do ask, right, like, why don't you, post more, like TikTok and stuff like that. It's not that we don't, but I think at the same time, like, we are still the same people that we were like 10 years ago. We just want to talk to like the uncle that comes by every day for his coffee. Those are the people that make us like, extremely happy. And they are the customers that are sustainable. I mean, like a hype is a hype. When it's popular, it hits, like a month, 2 months. And then people come once and they don't come anymore, or maybe come twice. But the people who come every day, every other day, once a week, like the same guy who brings his kids, sit at the same table, order the same thing. Those are the people who are extremely precious to us. And I think those are the people that we want to target as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So I guess like, building a community for us within the district is super important. Yeah. So I think today, I was at Atlas just last week. I saw that same family who went to assembly. Except their kids are a lot bigger now. And they order the same thing, salted caramel, father will have a long black, mother have a latte. And it is nice, it's nice to watch that, they still kept to that routine.
Right.
I still kept to my routine after all these years. And, it's nice.
Right.
Yeah.
What will be the ongoing plans for Atlas?
I think we may develop like a more scalable coffee brand. Yeah. Because I mean, Singapore is only so big, right? And it becomes like, how many more shops can you open? So I think we may venture overseas. We don't know yet. But I think overseas is definitely, it has always been a pipeline. Yeah. So I think we'll probably focus more on that. But when we go overseas, you don't want to deploy like a full cafe setup because, we don't live there. So we do not know, like the produce and how it works and yada, yada. So I think, going slow would be more sensible. Yeah.
What would be the alternative without a full cafe setup?
I guess just coffee
like
offerings.
A regular coffee
I see.
shop.
Okay.
Yeah. Because
right,
I mean, I
it's
just
like no full lunch menu and stuff like. Okay.
Maybe
But for starters, I think that is also easy to, like I said, like the objective is to build a scalable brand. So then when you have food, then somehow it gets a bit complicated along the way. So but if it's just coffee, then that experience can be easier.
I think for us also, we want to make sure that we will succeed. I mean, people always say like, but you've opened so many, right? Then it should kind of be very easy by now. But actually, it is not any easier. Actually, every time you open, it is still as difficult because things change, right? The scene changes. Like, you can't do the same thing that you did 6 years ago or like last year. So we're always thinking of something new. So so I think in that aspect, if we do scale overseas, we want to keep it simple first. And also we are responsible for, I think, a lot of other of the stuff, the crew. I think that is something that is very important to us. The reason why we won't like, okay, let's just take it, We also have to think for them. If it doesn't work out well, then, those people who are with us, then how? Like, are their bonuses compromised and stuff like that? Yeah, so we are still quite, safe. Even though we don't seem safe.
The numbers must be right.
Yeah, correct.
Is rising rental a big challenge every 2-3 years? It's like,
that will always be a problem. But I guess for us it's really, how do we then continue to maintain that's kind of that revenue, and how do you increase your margin in that sense? So that's so far is the biggest challenge. But obviously,
for all F&Bs, it's always
correct. But for us, we don't ever break a back to pay a rent. So if this person is asking super high for the unit,
you just move.
I was like, let's just not take it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you will shift location.
We haven't had that
situation.
We just won't take up a space that the rental
doesn't make
sense to us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you look back at your 12 years, has there been people that didn't believe in what you guys were doing, like when you started your first and second one?
Yes. I remember when we first opened at Columbus, the first morning, first week maybe, this auntie, she was like, 你们卖什么? They said, auntie, can you take a look at the menu, And she looks at it, she goes, no oxtail? Then we're like, no auntie, so no oxtail, so sorry. I was like, okay. Good luck. Then she just left it as that. So I think with every opening, because somehow all the units that we take, there would be multiple closures. So the previous tenant, they don't pass 6 months and stuff. So then we take over the unit, and then the people around the demographic, the neighbors, they will come in you take this unit. Good luck to you. This unit, the feng shui maybe not so good because the change of hands is really quite frequent.
Right.
So we just okay bless us we just hope for the best.
Right.
I think when we first opened Atlas
was
because that unit that we took, right,
always has a failure of business.
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we tore down
notorious for that.
So when we took over, I remember when we tore down the whole unit, the signboard, right, was this thick. It was PVC, then the different materials. So the signboard just kept on piling up. And so then we had to do a full clean out of the entire space.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
were there friends or family members that didn't believe in you guys?
Maybe, but they just didn't tell us. So I
think my dad was definitely a bit wary at the start.
Yeah.
Because that was we call it the curse unit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He wasn't you're going to fail. But he was more if the business don't work out, then don't worry, you just work harder after that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think he wasn't the most keen for me to join the partnership because I was like, hey, Dad, they're taking the unit, that one. He's like, the curse unit. Yeah. So but he's always been very supportive.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think with his knowledge, right, about that area, that spot, he was just like, wow, you all need to try and work very hard, Yeah. But I think other than that, no, I think our family and our friends have been always very supportive. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you guys do it over again? if you can go back 12 years ago?
For me, in a heartbeat, I definitely would do it all over again.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't really.
Okay, I would, but sometimes I still feel I would reconsider. Yeah. To be very, very honest, it's all worth it. It's successful and stuff like that, but I think you really sacrifice a lot.
As an entrepreneur.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Especially for us, I think it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
Because I think we work so hard that we could open 6 or 7, within that short span of time. But definitely for us, right, we lost our entire 20s.
Yeah. Everything just went to the shop. Yeah.
Yes, 100%. So sometimes, when I see my nephew, he's 7 or 8 now, right? But I completely can't even remember him from 2 to 7. Yeah, because I wasn't there and I'll forever not be his favorite auntie. So I'm the whatever auntie who gives him scrambled eggs. But my sister is obviously the most loved. Yeah, so I would do it again because we did well and it's good. Yeah, but it was a lot of sacrifice. And I think people also need to understand and understand the realities of it. Yeah. Now we can it's great. So I think we try not to think about the past.
Okay.
But it definitely wasn't easy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and a lot of people thought that starting a business is easy and they just dive into it. Right? And Yeah, I think what you guys are doing now is like great. It's like you're, like open to sharing your business kind of like success formula. Also like letting them see the realities and sort of like giving back as well to the F&B entrepreneurs community. Yeah, thanks for coming and also sharing.
Thanks,
I think it's like there's so many gems that you guys shared, especially like regarding people, leadership, the struggles, challenges, and pain that usually people don't talk about. Yeah, thank you so much for doing this.
Oh, thank you.
We have a deck of cards that was curated by our 100 teammates. Everybody curated one question.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so maybe you guys can pick one. One is about work, one is about personal. Yeah, maybe you can pick. Yeah. Okay, can read out a question for our audience. Maybe Daphne first.
What is something that holds you back from being your best self? Maybe it can be those one.
Mine is, what is one professional skill you are currently working on? Okay, so for me, I am part of as in I do the R&D, I do the food side, but I'm not culinary trained. So I mean, I'm not professionally working on it, but I think right now I am really trying to hone my skills. Yeah, in the cooking area. I mean, I'm a self-taught, like I read a lot and then I test on my own, but I'm trying to actively do more to learn. Because I think we all kind of suffer from imposter syndrome. Because people are like, oh, you do the food one, then like you chef. I say, no, sir, I'm not chef. Like I just really love food. And I think that's something that really bugs me a lot because I didn't go to culinary school. Yeah, I had to learn everything. But the truth is that I will probably never go to culinary school. Yeah, and I cannot keep harping on the fact that I didn't. So it's something that I need to actively, I mean, there are resources, right? Yeah, you can
learn everything online.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can even like sign up for a course. You can, sign up for like masterclass.
Yeah, the world has changed. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But I think that is something that I'm really working on. Right. And I also believe that you can't always expect it to be free. Like people will tell me like, oh, but I saw a YouTube, then only show this much, or like Google only says this. But I'm like, you can actually pay for things online. I mean, like, yeah, we are running the shop. Sometimes we can't afford to go to school. Yeah, but you can pay for online classes, or like, yeah, correct. Or you can buy books, you can read up, and that will help you hone your skills a lot more. Yeah, so I think that is something that I'm really working on.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, you seem like a growth mindset person.
I definitely am.
Right.
Yeah, because I think for us, if we don't push ourselves to grow, like how
then the team becomes stagnant, right? So
Yeah.
then you kind of constantly have to, okay, what else can I teach these guys?
Yes.
You know? So
Yeah.
you kind of have to, just.
Right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks. How about you, Daphne?
So what is something that holds you back from being your best self? I think it's really the expectations that you think people have of you. So then like, I'll be like, okay, this person probably expects me to do this. But then if I feel like I don't want to do it this way, then, then does that mean that I'm not the best version of myself? So I think that is what would, stop me from doing what I would want to do. Yeah.
And sometimes these thoughts could be real or not real.
Yes, correct.
Right.
I think like I see myself as not a super people pleaser, but I would want to, someone that I love and care about, I would want to, please that person. But I mean, what this person expects, may not be what I want to do. So I think it's really about, that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Thanks for coming on our podcast.
No, thank you. Thank you for having us.
All right.
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
We didn't eat a nugget.
Yes, come.
More for you guys.
I tried to. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, at some point, I was like, okay, awkward. Cannot do this.